Hello, Leo. Welcome. This is a reading for March 14th through 20th, 2022. There's a full moon on Friday the 18th, just so you know. I've already pulled some cards for you this week, Leo, and I was just taking a look at them. It seems like a lovely little reading. You have a nice flow to your energies this week, or the energies available to you. Let's see here. In your motivation this week, we have the Six of Pentacles. And it seems like, especially looking at all the other cards in your reading here, it seems like you feel like you have received a lot and you're ready to like give something back. You're in this energy of like, you understand that there needs to be that balance between receiving and giving, and you feel like you want to give a little bit this week, and I don't know whatever that means to you, give what exactly, I don't know. Let's see here. In your outside influences, we have the Temperance. And again, just looking at all the other stuff going on in your reading here, it does seem like there is, in your environment and the things that are surrounding you and yourself as well, but this is kind of the environmental position here, like your environment. There seems to be a blending of energies, a blending of realities, a blending of beliefs, and a blending of like two things in your world that are making more sense together. And so that kind of is the energy surrounding you this week and the energy available to like support you. That's a cool energy to have there. Let's see, I'm just jumping all over the place here, but I kind of feel like I want to. In your beliefs here, we have the Death card, and if this is something that you're expecting this week. You're expecting like or maybe you're just already seeing it. You're expecting that transformation. You're the death of one thing and the beginning of this new thing, the rebirth of a new thing. It's something that you're expecting, and it's certainly not like a scary death, that's for sure. You're just like, okay, cool, let's do this. Especially with that motivation card, the Six of Pentacles, you're expecting to, in the Temperance, the blending, we have a beautiful balance here in your cards today. Yeah, I'm going to leave those two things there. In the recent past, we have, the Page of Swords. In this deck, she heavily emphasizes her Page of Swords as a messenger. That's why she puts all these letters here in her art. So in the recent past, probably a message came in. Maybe you just heard someone talking on the street, and then it was like, oh, that is helpful for this thing that I have been, that helps me put a puzzle piece in my puzzle. But it also could be this week that you, not only is, for a lot of you that probably that message thing because of this artist has come in recently, but it could also be just a new, it kind of goes along with that message, like hearing some random person on the street or wherever you got inspiration. It led you down this new path of thinking, but it's a new path, and but it's an inspired, creative, fun new path. So that's cool. Leo, moving from the Page of Swords energy, we have the High Priestess crossed by the Sun, and let's see. So this new way of thinking, this new idea that you got, this balance all around you, the fact that you want, your motivation is to give as much as you receive and to have that balance. You're looking at all of those things within yourself. And while there's still a little bit of a mystery here with the High Priestess, you are the High Priestess, and you are finding, like, you are connecting things. You're connecting things this week that maybe weren't quite connected before, but you knew they were available to you, you knew they were there, but they weren't quite connected, and you're starting to connect those things, and it's creating happiness for you. And while this is technically the challenge card, it doesn't feel like it's much of a challenge. For some of you it might be. For some of you it could be that, all of this understanding is you're finding it a struggle to just be happy. You're like, oh wait, how do I just be happy when I'm working through all this stuff? But for others, the happiness is there to like actually support you. It feels more supportive here. Even though it's a challenge, the crossing energy doesn't necessarily have to be a challenge all the time. For some of you, you have that happiness available to you. And it's almost a reminder, like, yeah, you're working through all this deep shit, but you're still a human and you still want to be happy. Like, don't forget about that either. So that's what I would say about those cards there. Let's see. And what does work for you and what doesn't work for you this week. So it doesn't work so much for you this week. We have the Knight of Wands. And while we're doing some inner work here, and we're recognizing like a death and a rebirth, and we're recognizing that we need balance, and that we do have balance, and that we're striving for that, and that energy is available to us. This guy is a little bit more impulsive and free-spirited and, ambitious and, just driven forward. And while you do have the Chariot in your outcome, which is kind of almost the same energy, in my opinion, with the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Wands, really. But I would say that with this in this position, it's more of an advice. See if you can see it. There we go. It's out of focus. That's a bummer. It does seem that this position is asking you to kind of slow down and not be so, like, outward, not be so fire out in the world and let everybody see you, you know what I mean? Like that. It seems a little bit more inward for you this week. What does work for you this week, we have the Moon. And, it seems as though with all this transformation and everything here, it feels like like on the Moon card, there is a path, and you can't necessarily see the path. On this card, she represents it with, like, you can barely see it, which is, like, it's right here underneath the Moon. Maybe you can see the tiny little bit of a path. So, this card in your reading, it feels like you're trying to see in the dark. And in this position, I would say, continue to try to see in the dark. Because the more you try to see in the dark, the easier that path will be to see. So I would say continue working on that skill, whatever that means to you. In the near future, we have the Nine of Cups and the Chariot. It feels very successful, especially with that Sun card and the Six of Pentacles. It's all very lovely. It's coming from a little bit of a, we have the Moon, we have the High Priestess, which is a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but to you, in your reading, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It feels natural, and it feels like you're going there with that Death card in your beliefs. So you're like, yeah, I'm ready for it. Bring it on. And I would say that there's success here. Your outcome is the Chariot, and it's definitely going to, all of this work that you're doing this week is definitely going to bring you to a place of feeling goal, like, oriented, and that you're reaching that goal, that you're like, oh wow, I'm getting there, and you're almost, everything behind you is just disappearing, and you're moving into that energy with the energy of the Nine of Cups. Satisfaction, and you're feeling comfortable, and almost probably a wish come true. So that's what I have for you this week, Leo. I'm going to leave it there. Let's pull a Four Agreements card to see which Four Agreement would best help you through the energies of your week. I love the Four Agreements. Four Agreement for Leo. I mean, we should embody the Four Agreements all the time, but, sometimes one agreement is always better to focus on with specific things that are going on in our lives, to connect to those energies. I can speak. Let's see here. Don't make assumptions. Communicate with clarity. And we have the Page of Swords there in that recent past, so it seems like that is the energy that's bringing you into this week, right? Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all of our relationships would change. There would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. Be impeccable with your word this week, Leo. That's what I have for you, Leo. Thank you very much. As a reminder, this is a practice for me. I am practicing. I am not a master. For more on what that means, there's a description in the box below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It is super helpful. Join my team. I need subscribers on my team in order to grow. Please grow with me. Won't it be fun? You'll get a free reading every week, and in a year you'll look back and be like, wow, that was a pretty fun journey. She certainly changed quite a bit. And you get to watch. It's like a reality show, but you get free readings. So thank you, Leo. I really appreciate you. I'll see you next week. Have a beautiful week. Thank you.